This is going to be demoing the INT 10G12 MSBP for an application where we're going to be feeding HTTP and heartbeat traffic through an inline appliance through filtering, and then all the other traffic will be passed through the network ports of the TAP network ports 1 and 2, but they will not be going through the inline appliance. So on my screen, I have the 12 port that we're discussing, and then over here I have another of the Garland devices that I'm using as my inline appliance, so that I can show what happens if we disable the config map, simulating that the appliance goes down, but we don't lose link or anything on our bypass ports to simulate failures and that kind of thing. Down here, I have a PuTTY session to the 12 port to show when we restore power and everything. We can see the unit reboot. And then down here at the bottom, I have my Xena test set that I will be using to simulate all traffic, HTTP traffic, and that kind of thing as we go through here. This is based on the example that normally the TAP is 1, 2, 3, and 4. The network ports are 1 and 2. The bypass are 3 and 4. But in this particular case, we're going to be fibering 3 to 5, 4 to 6, and then we have our filtering in place. I actually have my inline appliance off of port 7 and 8. And so it's based on this configuration that we proposed as far as the setup of the 12 port. We can see, if we go into the packet broker of the 12 port, these are the config maps that we have built to direct our ARP, which are heartbeats from the bypass, HTTP traffic, and then the pass-alls is for everything else. And so these are the config maps that I have built along with the filtering. And we'll be watching the bypass tap, which is right now, it's in line. Everything's working normally, except that you can see down here, I do not have any traffic enabled at this point. And so if we look at our inline appliance right now, and I clear my stats, and I do a refresh, we can see that the only thing that I'm getting through my inline appliance coming out of ports 7 and 8 are the heartbeat packets. These are the ARP packets that's created off of the TAP. And that's the only thing that I see right now. And so if I come down and enable my HTTP traffic, TCP source and destination port 80, and then we go to our stats and I do a start, we can see that I am feeding HTTP traffic from ports 0 and 1, which would emulate the network ports on the TAP ports 1 and 2. And then if we do a refresh over here now, we can see that not only are we getting heartbeat packets, but we're also getting HTTP traffic through the inline appliance. And again, if I stop this and I go back and I disable these, and now I do a clear and a refresh, now we can see that we're back to heartbeat only. And now I'm going to turn on the other traffic other than the port 80 HTTP to show that when these are enabled, we will see traffic, this traffic going through the network ports of the TAP 1 and 2. But again, if we come over here and do a refresh, all we're seeing is heartbeat packets. All this traffic is not going through the inline appliance. It's only being fed across through the network ports 1 and 2. And I'll do a clear and do another refresh. And again, this is only the heartbeat packets that's getting through. The remaining traffic is not. And so now I'm going to stop my traffic. And now I'm going to enable everything to go through the rest of the video as far as demoing and power failure, loss of inline appliance, and that kind of thing. So now I'm going to turn on all my traffic, and you can see that we're transmitting 20 gig on each port. Again, 20% of a 10 gig port, 10% is HTTP traffic, and 10% is just the remaining extra traffic on both sides. And so now if we do a refresh over here, this represents my heartbeat traffic and my HTTP only traffic. And so now we're going to go in and I am going to power off the tap. When I do that, we will see the lights on the dashboard go out, and I will not be able to communicate with it. And so I'm going to go power off the 12 port. And so we can see on the dashboard, it says could not get link status because the unit is down. We can look down here and notice that I am still passing 20% of a 10 gig port. Again, that's HTTP and all the remaining traffic. We did see a hit when the optical switch activated for the tap to go into bypass. I'm going to clear my stats on my test set, and I'm going to bring back up my PuTTY session, and I'm now going to restore power. So we can see on our PuTTY session that the unit is booting back up, and here in just a minute we'll reestablish a link in the GUI session. The lights will come back to let me know that I am communicating again with the unit. And so we can see now that the unit is back up. I have my lights indications back. I see link activity on my network ports. And again, the unit is up according to the serial PuTTY set.